Hello and welcome. This is an energetic reading for the Black New Moon, which will be in the sign of Capricorn, December 30th or 31st, depending on where you are. So this is going to be an intuitive general reading to connect with the energy of this second new moon in December, which is why it's called a black moon, to see what messages want to come through. Capricorn being the sign of structure. So what new structures are you calling in for the new year, for 2025? What structures are you releasing that are no longer serving you? And what are you being receptive to? What are you being open to in general? It doesn't have to be so concrete. Maybe this new year that we're stepping into is the year that you become more in tune with yourself, with your emotions, with the energy that surrounds everything. So the first card we have is Past Life 14. Looking back on this past year, how you have changed, how you have shifted, how you have released the various versions of yourself. Because we are always changing, everything is in flux. We can change in any given moment. So allowing the past to really be in the past and not bringing it into where you are going. Because again, transformation is coming up. So really, this is the time to transform. This is the time to shed what really needs to be let go of, even if it's painful, even if it's scary, even if it just brings up that anxiety or almost that paralysis that can occur sometimes when we know we have to take a jump, we know we have to make that difficult decision, because we know what it's going to cost us if we don't make that difficult decision. So trust in your unfolding. Trust in the unfolding of your path, your true self, what you're really meant here to, what you're really meant to do here. Not limiting yourself, really allowing your wings to spread as far as they need to, giving yourself the space, the room to express yourself, so that you can actually start to experience life in the true sense that you know to be possible, which can be entirely different than what has been presented to you up until this point. Because everything that occurs in the 3D is the reflection of the past. It is energy that has solidified to become matter. So what, like, if you're like, why are you trying to build a new path for yourself based on the past, based on what you've seen in the past, and thus limiting you from all the different possibilities that can be experienced and created? Which is requiring you to be receptive to all the possibilities that want to come in through you, because you are the channel. You are the channel for creation. You are the channel for expression. So allowing yourself to be this channel, not restricting yourself, not trying to rationalize things because you've been told to do so. You are not a linear being. None of us are linear beings, but we've been fed this illusion for various reasons. So are you receptive to the different versions of you that are being birthed regardless? It's whether or not you allow that to be your actual experience of reality. Because, as always, everything is connected, whether it's the ending of a cycle, it's bringing in a new cycle. So I always make this joke that whenever I use this deck for these moon reading, for these new moon and full moon readings, I tend to get the opposite card. So it's a new moon, but the full moon is coming up, because I guess that's the joke that I have with this deck now, and it just keeps happening. But allowing yourself to really reflect on what you have become full of, in a sense. What version of yourself have you mastered? What have you realized needs to be really just released, so that you can move on to a new cycle, so that you can actually experience a new cycle. Sometimes people just have to get to a point where they're so fed up, but that doesn't have to be the reason why you actually step onto your new path. If you can step onto your new path from a place of just that deep trust in yourself, the deep knowing, the deep trust of your transformation, and that you will actually be supported. You will be supported by the higher versions of yourself. You will be supported by the unseen realms. You will be supported by the energy that you are trusting yourself to connect to and explore. So trust in everything that you have accumulated up until this point, and just take the wisdom from it. Whatever the situation is, whatever the circumstances, however painful it was, just look at it and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to just take the wisdom from it. I'm not going to torture myself anymore. I'm not going to, live in regret and just stay in this stagnant version of who you may have been up until this point. It's one of the most painful things for us as humans is realizing that we've held on to stories because that's our identity. Whatever the pain is, whatever has happened, that is part of the trapping of the human realm, of the 3D realm. We can become so tied to the limiting stories from the hurts, from the betrayal, and we just allow that to be our identity, and we cling to that. So face that, however painful it is, face that and be really honest with yourself, because that's the only way you actually grow. Because it's not always an easy process. It's not an easy process to essentially realize where you're wrong within yourself, not by the arbitrary ways that society tries to tell you're wrong, but where you know deep down inside that you've just been perpetuating a story, a narrative. You've become potentially addicted to what it means to be the victim, and you've allowed that to be your identity. Because after the release comes the relief. It's this new territory, but you are solid within yourself in that new territory. Everything appears to be new, but you have that solid assurance within yourself because you took the wisdom from the experiences. That becomes your actual compass point. You end up having this internal compass that knows which way to point to in order for you to continue your evolution, essentially. That's what it means to really be your own guide based on your own wisdom. That's how you carve your own path to actually evolve the way your soul is meant to evolve here in this earth game reality, however you want to refer to it. It's all for expansion. That's the reason why you came here. Because again, death is coming up, 36. And right after it, courage, 37. Do you have the courage to allow the death to take its natural course? It takes courage to say goodbye to the versions of yourself that are not evolving. It takes a lot of courage. Ask anyone that went through any significant transformation how much courage it took them, how much courage it took them to wake up every day and be committed to their path, even if everything around them was just against them. But they believed in that spark within. Just like in the last reading, the spark card came up. Like, all it takes is a spark, and that spark is you. However small it is, that is what you have to fan for it to become this fire, which is where your internal wisdom is pulled from. So allow the death to occur. Connect with this card if you need courage. This is why I'm connecting it back to the spark card, because the spark card, it's also the lightning. It just takes a flash. It just takes sometimes a moment for you to be like, I have the conviction. I have the conviction to move forward in my life. I have the conviction to actually do this because I'm tired of the same old thing. I'm tired of the same thing happening. I'm tired of experiencing the same version of reality and just wondering why I'm not getting anywhere. So yes, it takes courage for you to allow the death to occur, for you to take that underworld journey if you need to, for you to descend and really do a deep dive into your own psyche, your own emotions, your own habits, and just whatever is keeping you stuck in the same reality loop where you are not evolving, and then you just think that that's life. You just think that that's how life is meant to be and nothing changes, when in actuality everything changes. But if you are just staying stuck in the same energy, if you aren't allowing yourself to expand, if you aren't believing that you can expand, then yeah, you're going to experience the same reality, and you're going to think that that's just what life is. And people just don't change, nothing changes. But actually, you are the one that has to change in order for you to actually see the change around you. Because a lot of people, they just wait for things to change around them, but they are the ones that have to change. What is the change that's actually going to come through? Okay, so we have Temperance and Eight of Cups. So balancing how you are able to go into the unknown. What is changing? Everything is changing, because you have Major Arcana, Minor Arcana. So your way of finding the balance, becoming the balance, in order for you to go into the unknown, in order for you to leave behind the familiar, because you have explored everything you can up until this point. Again, reality has just continued the same way. And the only way you are going to be able to be comfortable in the unknown is to become the balance within yourself. Because what was I saying about the relief that comes from when you take the wisdom from the experiences? When you are able to just take the pure wisdom and be objective with your experience, regardless of how difficult it was, you become the master. When you become the master of yourself, you become the master of everything around you. There is nothing that can sway you, because you've already mastered the most difficult aspect. So in order for you to be comfortable in this new terrain, like I was saying, where you're in an entirely different landscape, it's the unknown. Just like the shaman has to go into the night. It is the ultimate test of himself. It is the ultimate test of how much he has mastered his internal state. He goes into the night, into the jungle, into the unknown completely. And because he is so secure within himself, he is able to get through the night. So that is where your mastery lies. That is where you are having to master things. It is within yourself, first and foremost. It is essentially harmonizing with everything internally, making peace with yourself, with where you may have been at war with yourself, your emotions, any thought patterns that just keep continuing, that are essentially false stories. Because if you look at him, he is in the elements, but he has this box of energy, which is what you gain. That is the wisdom. That is the wisdom from the experiences. It becomes your own box of wisdom that you are able to pull from. That is your guide as you're trying to navigate life. And the new versions of yourself that you are meant to become here. Instead of waiting for reincarnation, instead of waiting for the next life, you are kind of just skipping ahead in a way. Because it's possible to it's possible to experience what feels like a reincarnation in your current lifetime if you do the work. If you are able to really give into the death that needs to occur, you birth the new version of yourself. That's what it means to actually deeply transform. You transform to the point where the current version of you literally becomes the old version of you in every single way. But you have to be hungry for it. You have to want it more than anything. You have to want your transformation more than you want your level of comfort. That is what is meant by actual conviction. You are so solid and sure in what you actually want to experience that you don't care anymore. That hunger is so strong, and that is what is driving you forward. That is what is making you wake up early and be committed to the new version of yourself before you can even see it fully formed. That's what it means to actually have faith. You continue regardless of what is around you that is your supposed challenge. Because we all have it within us. We all have this tiger that is so ferocious, that whose strength just surpasses any challenge. So when you awaken that tiger, when you awaken that hunger within you for something you've never experienced, but you know that that's where your greatest evolution lies, you become unstoppable. So we have Isabella of Air coming up, which I'm going to read the message for. But since it's the air sign, the element of air, what new ideas are coming in? How are you becoming inspired by this hunger that has awakened? What new insights do you have? Because it's that spark again. The energy of the spark card is coming up again. When that hunger is ignited within you, it's like that spark. That's all it takes. And then you are just like, you just have your objective. You are just in the doing mode. You've received all the messages that you need to receive, whether they have just been, you know, what you have to wake up to. Even the messages of failure, like all of it plays a part. It's whatever you no longer want to experience. It creates that spark, and then you just go from there. So Isabella of Air, I am the energy of surrender. The trust that envelopes you once stepping into the unknown. Eyes closed in fear and resignation. I wish for you to move as I do, without apprehension, without resistance. I help you dance through changes the wind brings to your door. Life can carry you to places never imagined. Simply release expectations and the rule of should. Let go. How can you surrender? What was I saying? All of this has been about stepping into the unknown. Because that is what the new cycles are all about. We close out a cycle so that we step into an entirely new cycle, which is what our soul wants. Our soul is here to experience the new cycles and to ultimately experience as many new cycles as it can in a lifetime. That's actually the purpose of us being here as humans. So her energy is coming in to say, Can you allow yourself to be carried by the winds of change? Can you trust? Can you trust that your hunger for something new is enough to carry you through to the next stage? Because again, that's what it means to have faith. You may not know how you're going to get there, but you just know that you're going to get there. That conviction inside of you is so strong. So allow yourself to be supported by the unseen realms, because they are very much there. So just because nothing looks like it's changing in your physical reality doesn't mean that it isn't changing. You cannot see energy, you can only feel it. I'm gonna see if anything else wants to come through from the Guided by Spirit Oracle deck. If there's any further messages in relation to trusting in the unknown, or anything else that the spirit guides wish to communicate. So Bernard of Earth is coming up again. So it's like, okay, you got the messages. Isabella is here to say trust in the unknown, but then Bernard is here to be like, you have to bring it back down to earth. Like, okay, you got the new messages, you got the insight, you got the ideas, you got the inspiration, you got the hunger. How are you making it real? Everyone has challenges. Everyone has obstacles on their path, but how are you choosing to overcome that? To bring your ideas and your desires into the earthly realm. So he is very much coming in as the, in a sense, the reality check. Like, okay, you want this new thing. You have this goal, you have this desire, you have this new reality that you want to experience. How are you fighting the shift that is happening regardless? How are you resisting what is needing to be let go of? However difficult it is, how are you resisting that? How are you using almost like that earthly energy in the wrong way? So committing to your dreams and calling in the energy of Bernard. Like, if you do not feel as though you can focus your energy as needed to bring things into the earthly realm, call on the energy of the spirit guide. Just say to yourself, you know, Bernard of Earth, I ask that you be with me. I ask that you support me. I ask that you show me how to solidify things into the earthly realm. Or however you intuitively decide to connect with the energy of the spirit guide. Because he loves the hard work. He relishes in it. Because as much as the earthly realm is difficult at times to experience, there is still a certain aspect of beauty in this realm, in the sense that we bring things into the physical. We are the bridge between the divine and the physical, the seen and the unseen, the physical, the non-physical. We are the bridge. Our spirit guides, angels, all of that, they are in the ether. We are the ones that bring things into the physical realm. So, as much as it's difficult at times to be in this physical realm, we are still able to give life to things that would not otherwise exist if it were not for us being the ones to birth it into this realm. But it takes dedication, It takes work, it takes perseverance, it takes all of these things to actually commit to our dreams, which is reminding me again of the Capricorn energy, like this Capricorn new moon, this black moon, which many believe it's very auspicious with new beginnings. Like, what's the solid work that you are going to commit yourself to actually bring your dreams to reality? Because wishing is not going to do it, hoping is not going to do it, saying tomorrow is not going to do it. So he is here to basically echo this energy of Capricorn, which is Saturn energy. Saturn being the planet of foundations, legacy, of doing what needs to be done so you can reap the rewards. Not taking the shortcuts, because the shortcuts are just basically bypassing the pain, avoidance. That doesn't really get you where you're meant to be on the long term. Like, your soul didn't come here to bypass. Your soul didn't come here to avoid. There's a difference between bypassing and then just deciding that you are done with the old cycles. It's a very different energy. It's a very different energy than blooming into the higher version of yourself. So again, the transformation energy is coming up. It is painful to transform. It's painful to go from the caterpillar to the butterfly, because the caterpillar is basically consuming itself. The imaginal cells that make up the small percentage of cells within the butterfly that are responsible for the caterpillar becoming the butterfly, they are the only ones that know what is actually occurring. But everything else, all the other cells in the butterfly, like, they're dying, they're being consumed. It's a very painful process, but it is necessary. So it's not about bypassing and just avoiding. It's about going through the transformation, being the alchemist who is able to transmute all the difficulty, seeing where you are actually being redundant in the work you are doing versus avoiding. So we're not here to avoid. We are here to become the masters of ourselves, our experience in reality, to come into the beautiful versions of ourselves that is essentially expressing the highest version of ourselves. That's what it means to have an extraordinary life. That's what it means to have an extraordinary existence. Are you just having a mundane existence, or are you having an existence where the fullness of your being is expressed? I'm not saying every single day or every single moment, but what I'm saying is the gifts that you came here to share, the version of you that is the most authentically expressed version of you that you came here to embody, that's what it means to have an extraordinary experience in life. You didn't come here to just be imprisoned by mundane reality. You came here to navigate mundane reality in order to bring magic into it. Each and every one of us. Whatever the new systems, whatever the new ways of doing things, the new way of expression, creative expression, whatever it is, that's what you actually came here to do. I can't think of a more perfect card right now than this. As I have said previously, it is the illusion of the jump, because we are always supported by the divine being us, essentially. We are always supported. So whatever looks like a leap of faith, that leap is just the illusion of separation between us and the unseen realms. So it looks like we're taking this big risk, we're taking this jump, but we are always supported. So are you able to take that risk for yourself? Because what is your other choice? To just stay in the same mundane repetition, wanting your life to change, wanting for yourself to be fully expressed in the way that your soul actually desires, but you're too scared. You're too scared to go into the unknown. So it is about becoming the master within yourself so that nothing in the external world sways you. I'm going to pull one more card just to see if anything comes up. But so that nothing in the external world sways you. So are you able to tap into that fearless energy? What can help us to have what can help us to have the faith in the unknown? Clarence Star. So this energy is very childlike, it's very innocent, but it's very wise at the same time, because Clarence is talking about worlds envisioned, what is yet to be created from the spark of divine imagination. Like, I'm getting goosebumps, because truly that's what it's about. We are all divine children. We are all children of the divine. We are all created from the divine, and that's where we go. That's where we return. And Clarence is just reminding you of your actual nature, which is divinity at your core. So honestly, all of this is an illusion ultimately. Like, all of the fear, everything, it's all an illusion, because at your core, you are everything contained in the universe. All of the magic, all of it, that is what you are at your core. When you can operate on that wavelength of that divine innocence, of just anything is, not even anything is possible. It's like, it goes beyond that, really. But Clarence the Star, his energy, it is of this divine innocence, this childlike wonder, basically like no limitations to what you can imagine. So the message for his card is, I am the traveler. I spin tales of your past, present, and future across my loom of light. Together, we access the higher realms of the conscious mind. I am here to help you dream into different dimensions, galaxies of darkness and light. If we do not venture into the unknown, we are likely to repeat ourselves over and over again. I wish for you to unravel the mysteries of who you are, to bend time and remember the joy of childlike curiosity, not the curve in your shoulders, bent with past regrets. Where do you wish to travel? What are your wildest fantasies? Do you know that you are limitless? Like, I have chills reading this card, because this is what it's actually about. This is the core essence of what it means to be a creator. Each and every one of us, we are divine creators. But if we allow ourselves to believe the limitations of the mundane realms, we become limited. As Joe Dispenza says, are you operating as energy or are you operating as matter? If you are operating as matter, you believe you are limited to the limitations of the material world. When you operate as energy, you are on this frequency of limitless creation, limitless potential. So that's what this is actually about. Because that spark has limitless potential. It is the pure essence of creation. But it's something that if you have just been stuck in the mundane world, believing that you are just in this 3D existence, you have to awaken that spark within you. You can't just go from having this mundane existence, just believing everything you see, to all of a sudden, I mean, you can have that awakening, but you have to stoke the fires of hunger to allow that spark to come. And sometimes that's why people reach rock bottom. It's so that spark can actually awaken within them. Because everything is ultimately illusion. Anything that is not this is ultimately illusion. This is the true essence of what you are, which is limitless potential. At any given moment, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to try. It's just what you are, but it's whether or not you are able to see this within yourself. The eternal childlike wonder, knowing that you are the magic. The magic lives within you. It's very powerful. This childlike innocence is so incredibly powerful because it is pure. It is pure intention. It is pure energy. It is pure love. So, I love the energy of this reading. I just feel all this kind of almost like this electric energy, because yeah, as humans we just get so caught up in what we can physically see and feel, and what was I saying is just a reflection of the past. The physical realm is simply energy solidified, which equals the past. But this is what is running through all things. It is in the antimatter. It is in the 99.9% of the energy in all things. At the subatomic level, this is the truth. So are we connecting more with that unknown energy that lies within all things, or are we connecting with the known energy, which makes up less than 1% of what everything is? I'm gonna see if anything else comes up from sacred symbols, but just looking at the bottom of the deck, gratitude, connecting really and truly to the energy of gratitude, even if it's just as small as a flame, like a single flame from a candle, even if that's the only amount of gratitude you can tap into, that's all it takes. So allowing, like, really connecting to the gratitude of whatever is occurring in your life that you can be grateful for. And of course, the energy of gratitude can help to call in what you want to experience, because you're basically saying it's done. If you can give thanks for what you haven't experienced yet, you're basically in the frequency of it has already happened. So the closing message for this reading is focus. So bring it back down. So connecting to the magic, connecting to the energy, connecting to the limitless possibility, and then having it be focused to a single point, creating a target in the physical realm that you are the driving force to hitting the bullseye. That is the difference between life happening to you and you happening to life. You are not just allowing things to just randomly fall into place. You are taking the driver's seat. You are basically saying you are the one creating the change. You are the one creating the end result. You are the wizard. You are the one that wields the unseen forces to bring about what you want to experience, which you absolutely can. So this was the reading for the black moon, the second new moon in the month of December in the sign of Capricorn. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care.